Hey, beautiful people. Dom Delivers is back with another dynamic episode. We have a lot to discuss today. But before we dive into the discussion, I got to check for you. So, first things first, how you feeling in your body? How's your heart? What's bringing you joy this week? What new activity did you dive into this week? Let's talk about it. I am so curious to know. Okay, let's see. I'm good. My heart is all right. What brings me joy? The podcast and knowing that I am touching lives and that I am tapping into my greatness and trying to cultivate genius in order to be the bomb-ass person that I know I could be. So that's me. So let's dive into the episode. Where do I want to start first? All right, boom. So last week I had an empowering event in my apartment. I hope I said empowerment, not empowering. Nonetheless, same thing. I held an empowerment event in my apartment for these two young ladies that I shared. And overall, I felt happy. I felt excited. I felt that they have now found the strength within to be great. But now, we have cultivated this circle of accountability partners. So sometimes I wonder, who are my accountability partners? Who is going to hold me accountable for my self-care? And sometimes it's hard to show up for other people when you don't show up for yourself. So I know a lesson that I'm taking from this empowerment event is I can't speak life into you unless I pour into myself. So we got a lot to talk about. So, something that came up from the event last week was mentoring and the power of having somebody in your corner to pour into you, to support you, to give you feedback, to call you out on your bullshit, like SZA says. Because a lot of us are just flowing through life, and we could flow a little better or lighter if we had some mentors who we could truly learn from. Now, at 31, my tribe of mentors are extensive. They range from preachers to drug dealers to teachers to principals to any and everybody who have crossed my path that has really shaped the woman that I am today. I don't want to rattle off and name my mentors, but I know that I have a strong network of people who I could literally just call for some guidance, for some feedback. And if they can't help me, they can definitely direct me into the right direction. So I think about my friends who have kids, and I wonder often, for those of y'all who are a little off track, who are your mentors? Who is pouring into you? And then what legacy are you leaving for the young people who call you mommy and daddy? Because the time is now. Definitely, the time is now for us to really tap in and do some internal reflection and make sure that we are set up well so we can set up everyone that comes behind us to be better than us. So, brief little story. I was having a conversation with my nephews, Alex and Tev, and we were talking about success and what does success look like in relation to mentors. And it was real disheartening to learn that my nephews weren't able to identify people that they see on a daily basis who they would deem as successful. So that was a little heartbreaking for me, but I think that we need to re-examine or redefine what is success. Is success waking up every day? Is success waking up every day and being able to go to a job and provide for your family? Is success being able to drive a fancy car? Is success being able to sustain yourself and not be dependent on anyone? I feel like it's a variety of things. And I'm interested to hear from the people who listen to the podcast as what is your definition of success? So that's that. But mentoring is so important. But I think before we can have a true conversation on mentoring, I think that I should give you a couple of definitions or what my thoughts are around mentoring. So a mentor is someone who can use their own lived experiences, aka their life, to teach. I feel like a strong mentor is someone who is unafraid to share with you. Like, I am sharing this knowledge with you because I want you to understand what I went through, but ultimately I want you to be better than me. A mentor definitely is resourceful. So, like, as a mentor, like, I can refer you to this book, this speaker, to gain some insight, to guide you. So, definitely, those are, like, common definitions or thoughts about mentors. I am wondering, when was, like, the opportune time for me to, like, self-reflect and be like, yo, Dom, you definitely need a mentor? I don't know, because I feel like I've had mentors all my life. Whether, like, the mentor, actually knew that they were serving as a mentor, or as if you were like, I was aspiring to be like your protege. I want to say, how old are you when you go to college? Like 18? I feel like my mentors come in, like, waves. So, as a church girl, I feel like I aspired to be like my youth minister. She was successful. She owned her own condo. She worked. She was beautiful. She was Haitian. She was trustworthy. So I saw characteristics in her that I wanted to emulate. And she had a heart for the young people. Like, literally a heart for the young people. And I knew that this is somebody who I aspired to be. So our conversations would be around life, of course, how to navigate, how to stay on the straight and narrow, and then ways to be great. And her being a youth minister, she was able to, of course, be rooted in scripture. And now that I look back at it at 31, I definitely was not serious about this walk with Christ as a young person. And now, looking back, it's like, wow, sis, you got some work to do. So I'm definitely going to tap in and do some work, because I know, looking back, I want to be better. She was definitely a mentor, like, my teenage existence. Then I did college. And in college, I thought I was doing it all by myself. I literally knew that whenever I had a professor who was like Dr. Brooks or Dr. Lee, for some reason, I, like, really tried to excel in your class, because I knew that I wanted back then, and I know that I'm still working on trying to get this good old doctoral degree. Y'all will be calling me Dr. Dom in a few years. Give me about 6. How am I, 31? Okay, no later than 40. I feel like I'll be Dr. Dom no later than 40, if I play my cards right. So, yeah. I think in college, like, those were the people. When I think about my family, I think about my cousins who lived in Canada, who were able to, like, you know, whenever they came down, they offered a sense of freedom. And we were able to have, like, real authentic conversations about this life shit and where it was going. So, yeah. I never really considered my parents to be mentors. Don't get me wrong. They were mentors to other people. But mentors in terms of, like, supporting me through my process and us being able to have authentic conversations. I'm able to have authentic conversations now at 31 with my dad. But I wasn't able to have those conversations with my mother. So I definitely leaned on my best friends and my best friends' parents to offer that motherly wisdom from time to time. And even to this day, like, I can call on them to get that support. and ask questions because they definitely give it to me raw, and I feel like I need that unadulterated truth at times. So I'm grateful for my best friend's parents who step up all the time and is willing to answer a text message on the late night, is willing to go to dinner just so we can engage in conversation. But I also think that a mentor, because, okay, I'm an English teacher, right? And we use a mentor text. A mentor text is a text that you can constantly go back to from time to time to really analyze the text from several different lenses. So I also think that as young people, or as a 30-something-year-old, I definitely rely heavy on a mentor text that I could read in several different stages of my life. I'm just trying to think of, like, let's see, a book that I've read multiple times that every time I read it, it's like, wow. Oh, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That's one of them. I think those gems in that, I want to say that book is like 120 pages. I probably read that book like every 3 years. It's just that damn good. I'm trying to think, what other books have I reread? Oh, More Than Enough by Elaine. I think I read that book twice in a year. This book, I think it's called Be Brave Enough by Cheryl somebody. Don't quote me on the author, but Cheryl, it's a green book. Those books have definitely been like transformative in like my process. So I am not only tapping into people, I'm also tapping into text that can feed my soul, that I can constantly reread, that I can use, that will serve as like an affirmation. And my hope is that you can find a actual person to serve as a mentor, or you can seek literature so you can be grounded and get that guidance as well through other people's lived experiences that you may not be able to physically touch. But in the midst of like thinking about mentoring, I think that there are things that we can do, like steps that we can take to really like hash out this thing called life. So for sure, anybody knows me knows that I'm a fan of writing things down. Y'all remember that scene in Mary Jane where she had tons of Post-its all over her apartment? I don't want to admit this to y'all, but that is me. That is definitely me. I have oversized Post-its. I have anchor charts literally dedicated on 2 balls of my life, because in the midnight hour or whenever I get a thought, I just want to write. So actually, I just discovered that they have like aquatic Post-its. That's not in the budget right now, but I'm going to try to cop some. I'm going to definitely try to cop some, because in the shower, I will have tons of thoughts. Like while I'm singing a song, while I'm praying, while I'm just enjoying the shower, I am in thought. So definitely write things down is one way to hold yourself accountable. But also, I know in the beginning of the year or people's birthdays, they make like, what's some things called? Dream board, vision board, a vision board. And on their vision board, you might divide it like personal, professionally, spiritually, or like by seasons. However your mind works, you can divide it up and put things that you want to achieve. And then I love the reflection part, like looking at yourself 6 months from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now, to see like how far you've come is like amazing. So definitely you could do that. You can also I think those are 2 things that you could do to hold yourself accountable and push yourself. Oh, I would also say I would share my board with someone, like a friend or something, or someone who I trust, so they can hold you accountable. I know one of my best friends and we have created like a Google Doc sheet where we listed our personal and professional goals, and on a monthly basis we have like a check-in. to see where we're at. So I think that is another way to hold yourself accountable. But thinking about accountability, thinking about mentorship, I also think about this hesitation or resistance that can occur when you're not where you're supposed to be. And now I know that if I'm a mentor to somebody, I can definitely feel this, because your intentions is to never steer anybody wrong. And I'm often wondering, like, what happens when people take on the responsibility of being a mentor. And, that's risky to be able to pour into somebody. But you, as the mentor, you're wondering, like, am I pouring in enough? Am I giving you the truth? And I think that I know many times people may offer like a disclaimer, like, this is my situation, but, this is just what I would do. Or they'd be like, do you, boo? Or that's just me. Or this is how I would handle it. So it's this offering of a disclaimer now makes what you said less authentic. So now as the mentee, I wonder if you were like weighing like a Libra scale, like, now am I really going to listen to this person if this person is not confident in their advice? Because of course there could be some backlash. Like, it could be like, listen, I took what you said and I failed, and then what? Then it might be the blame game. So I understand the trickiness of it. But I remember having a conversation with my principal, and anybody knows me, my principal is one of like my most favorite mentors these days in life, because he's definitely inspiring. Like, he inspires me to get my shit together all day, every day. And I love that he has like an open door policy where we can have courageous conversations about this work, but also about me. So I definitely appreciate that. And I think that, I want us to think about who inspires us and why do you aspire to be said person. Is it their mannerisms? Is it their attitude? Is it the way that they speak? Funny thing is, I was on a Zoom call, what's today, Tuesday, and I met this lady who is going to be my professor in this program. Bomb ass shit. I already told her, I was like, listen, you're dynamic and I'm your biggest fan right now. And I'm like, this is not even because I'm a student right now. I was like, you speak to my soul on so many different levels, and I emulate to be just like you. So let's talk. And so I am definitely grateful for that. And sometimes when you see somebody who you want to be your mentor, or who you want to be in your corner, call them up. Call them out like, hey, you pretty dope for a brown girl, and I like your vibe and I like your energy, and I'm just wondering how you could support me in life. I think it's as simple as that in order to make things happen. So let's do it. Let's do it, because I want you to elevate. I want you to be the best version of you. So let's make it happen. Last thing that I want to talk about is so I'm a teacher, and I'm constantly pouring into my students, right? And I feel like our words have power. So I want us to continuously pour into ourselves, pour into other people around us. It doesn't cost you anything to say hi to somebody. It does not cost you anything to smile at somebody. And I know we in COVID times and we got these masks on, but you can hit somebody with a little head nod, and a head nod is equivalent to like a hello or a can be. I just want us to continuously pour into each other, because the world needs love. The world needs a better place. And you don't know how you can shift and shake up somebody's world by simply just saying hello. So I challenge you these next 48 hours, 72 hours, whenever you're hearing this podcast, I challenge you to truly try to pour into somebody. And then let me know how it makes you feel. I'm excited to hear your responses. Okay, last but not least, hopefully. One question that comes up is where did we go wrong in terms of like achieving our goals. Now, I graduated 2007 from high school. Whoop whoop, Tigers. Then I had the ability and the opportunity, not scratch that, I was afforded the opportunity to continue my education at a community college. Now, don't y'all dare go bashing community colleges. I am in less student loan debt than you are because you went to, let's say, Pace, Fordham, St. John's. I don't know where you went, but you went somewhere else that was way more expensive. So we in less student loan debt nonetheless. So, damn, I forgot my fucking train of thought about school. Oh, so I went there, whatever, did what I had to do. And then I went to Lehman College and did all that. So I'm just thinking about people in my town, in my area that I know of. Shit that happens to just slide across my timeline, my TL, my feed, whatever you want to call it. And you're like, yo, bro, we've been out of school 13 years. What have you accomplished with your life? Which makes me wonder, where did it go wrong? Like, who were you following? What trends were you following that allowed you to not achieve your goals? And here we are in 2020. You're either trying to make it up or still lost. And I think about mentors. I think about your tribe. I think about all of that, but I'm struggling to get to the core of the question. Where did it go wrong? What is hindering your progress? And what steps are you going to take in order to be better? Because time waits for no one and life is passing us by. And don't get me wrong, I definitely have faith that, situations could turn around tomorrow and you could go from zero to a hero. However, I am a firm believer that faith without works is dead. So if you're not putting in this work, don't expect this ultimate miracle in the same breath. You know what I'm saying? So definitely let's figure out that. And then what steps are you going to take in order to be better? So for me, y'all know I'm a prayer warrior. Me and Jesus, we talk faithfully. But I'm also a therapy goer, and I feel like you could love Jesus and still go to therapy, because there's some shit that you gotta talk out, and you gotta talk it out, you gotta cry it out, you gotta write it out, you gotta just get it out of your system. And I think there's something so powerful about like writing something and reading it out loud, because you hear it and that is like the first step of like releasing. So definitely I support therapy. This episode was long as hell, but I'm grateful. And I'm not even done. We want to thank God for my tribe. Now, I feel like I have a best friend who I've been friends with since 6th grade. No, 5th grade. We both were in Miss Lawson's class. Shout out to 5th grade Miss Lawson. Hey, girl. Anywho, we were both in Miss Lawson's 5th grade class, and we literally bonded over suds. If you know what suds are, those are the things that happen when you activate soap and water in your mama's kitchen. We were literally busting suds together. So we have trauma bonds over cleaning. That is like the core of our friendship. But it has definitely propelled us forward immensely. So nonetheless, having this conversation with my best friend, and I'm like, yo, sis, I got to get my life together. And it was like, in what aspect? Sis, these freaking finances are basura. When I mean basura, like, you know the saying of robbing Peter to pay Paul? Listen, that's how I live my life. And at 31, I'm like, nah, we can't live like this no more. So literally, these past 48, 72 hours, I have been interrogating my finances with the help of, obviously, my best friend, to really, like, navigate and figure out, like, yo, how we going to cut back? How we going to be better? What we going to do? How we going to generate more money? Like, I'm literally on a grind right now. So to the people who was listening to the podcast, if I don't acclimate, no, not even, if I don't declare the $100 for your event, just know I'm not coming. Or just know I'm going to be drinking water and having an $8 appetizer so my bill could be $12. Like, I'm not playing with y'all. And it's going to be rough, but don't get it. Don't worry. We're in the midst of a pandemic. And if anything, I'm trying to be better and be the best version of myself. So I'm taking care of my skin. I'm taking care of my body. I've been going back to the doctor, making sure I'm healthy and doing whatever I need to do in order to be healthy. You know, you got to heal in order to be healthy. So I'm taking care of that. But I feel like self-care is on multiple levels. So emotionally, spiritually, financially, etc. So right now, like, how is my financial self-care? Trash. But I'm definitely taking control of it with the help of my tribe. So I encourage you to take control of something in your life that you have been neglecting, because trust and believe it's going to smack you in the face. And I'm really trying to tap in and take care of my shit because I want to be a homeowner. I have a cute little studio that is barely decorated, but I'm praying by my 33rd birthday in 2 years that I could wake up in a condo and really have something to say that I'm proud of, that I worked hard for. And then also I learned I'm not going to be leasing cars anymore. We're going to just finance something. Well, if I get my credit right, I can get a lower rate. But we'll see, because I'm going to just need to do better on God. So here we are taking those necessary steps to be better, and I am ready. This work is exhausting. I don't think I've called my credit card company like this, like the way I have these past 3 days, ever in my life. But God is able, and he will sustain you. As long as you are willing to put in the work, he will definitely open the door for you. So I am a testament to that. So yeah, I just want to thank you, beautiful people, for listening to another dynamic episode of Dom Delivers. Please be great. Please take care of yourselves. God loves you, and so do I. Bye.